Greetings, friends! Today I want to talk more in depth about my ice cold sorceress build that is using self-cast comet and frost walls. Now with a third comet from cast on freeze. I've reached maps and upgraded the character quite a bit, made some improvements and quality of life changes. But in case you've missed my previous video, this is a continuation video. My goal is to make a build that self-casts comet and breaks frost walls, resulting in freezes and big damages. We are also using chaos inoculation to become immune to chaos damage with a fair chunk of energy shield. We have a cold snap setup that helps us clear trash, but comet is still the bigger damage on rare monsters because of the passive points thin ice and heavy frost. The spell supports remain on a 4 link because not everybody has the currency to upgrade to a 5 or 6 link yet, and all the gear I'm using is budget. I haven't dropped a single divine orb or a jackpot drop so far. I am now level 70 with 5.7k energy shield and around 1100 energy shield recharge rate, 70% delay, increased 1000 mana, 100 mana per second. We don't use any armor or evasion, so we don't have any numbers for that. And my resistances are not balanced. I have way more at lightning than I have a cold, so this is the issue I have to fix. What I really wanted to do is showcase a little bit of gameplay, especially in this very hard Sekema trial, which is a level 72 zone, and just to give you a feel of how the character plays and the damage, the defenses. You can see for yourself from the video. Now, in terms of what gems I'm currently using and support gems, let's start off with the elemental storm, which comes from ascendancy. It is linked with ingenuity, font of mana, magnified effect, and persistence. Our comet also has close to 50% crit chance, and it will consume any freeze for extra damage. Our main spell, Comet, is linked with spell echo, biting frost, and elemental focus. Frost walls are linked with spell cascade, glaciation, and cold exposure. Cold snap is linked with cold mastery, concentrated effect, extraction. We are now chaos inoculation, so we can spam this as much as we want on maps without the fear of becoming low life and dying immediately to poison. Then we have our spirit spells, cast on freeze linked with impetus, eye of winter, and comet. We also use arctic armor and blink. I highly suggest blink as it's very satisfying having a dash. Then we have our curse setup, which is just hypothermia linked with heightened curse, and our calling spell, lightning warp. Now let's go over to what gear I'm currently using. Most important part is to get a body armor with a minimum of 50 spirit. This way we can reserve all our spirit gems without any issues. We are now chaos inoculation, so we don't need any chaos resist or life on gear. What we need is energy shield and elemental resists, but even this could be a challenge because I am yet to fix my resists. Here is my gear. Some I've purchased blue and regaled, and some I've purchased yellow and exalted once or twice. Some of them I've corrupted. Some worked, some bricked. Nothing great, just energy shield as much as possible and some resists. Like I said, we do not need life and chaos resist, and that makes things way cheaper for us. Now let's take a look at the passive tree. This is the passive tree and rare jewels that I'm using. The main key points here are heavy frost keystone that lets us ignore elemental resists of frozen enemies, and thin ice that gives us 50% increased damage against frozen enemies. Being CI, we also need a bunch of stun threshold based on energy shield instead of life, so we are not stunned and interrupted while casting comet. And overall, we take crit, energy shield, mana regen nodes, a little bit of cast speed if possible, and stun threshold. . I just have to put more respect on gear and resists. For example, right here on the second boss of the Trial of the Sekema, I had only 46% cold resist and just a couple of hits was enough to destroy this run. I should pay more attention and kill the fire one first. Also, some rare combination of rare monsters are really tough, like cold resistant plus life regen or invulnerability aura, but I refuse using the same copy pasta meta builds. Path of Exile 2 feels more like Elden Ring for me than Path of Exile 1, and I wish it to remain this way, its own game, without blasting screens of monsters in a flash and dropping 40 divines per map. I was surprised by how satisfying and fun it was to play through the campaign with this build. However, it still needs upgrading and a whole lot of gear to become an endgame build, because as you can see, I failed the Trial of Sekema in area level of 72 with the 3 bosses, reaching only the second boss. But this video guide is over. If you have any questions or suggestions, please post them down below in the comment section. I'll provide a passive tree planner along with the gem links in text format for you to check out in the description. Thank you very much for your time. Hope to see you soon.